Hi, for those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton, and I'm a personal coach. Prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, where I started as a teller at a small community bank and was a senior vice president of a $27 billion bank by the age of 38, managing multiple teams. So I'd love to tell you that that was an easy journey, and it was fancy degrees and family connections. It wasn't. As a matter of fact, when I finished college, my father was the biggest deadbeat dad in the county. Woo-hoo. Um, I share that because the point is, it doesn't matter what the circumstances you came from. You can achieve success if you do the work. And I had an incredible work ethic. And a little over 10 years ago, I was exposed to leadership development coaching. I was at the lowest level of management in the organization. And at that time, they said anybody in a managerial role was going through this program. So I met with the coach. He reviewed the results of my 360 feedback survey. And I gave him the Cliff Notes version of my life. And he goes, yeah, that all makes sense. I get it. And if you don't change, you're not going any further. Let me say that again. If you don't change, you're not going any further. Well, I took that pretty seriously because I was in my early 30s. And again, lowest level of management. And I thought, I don't want to spend another 30 years doing this. So I embraced the process, not only in that program, but I've done in excess of 2,500 hours of self-study plus formal leadership training programs and coach certification programs. So now I can help you shortcut the process because one, I can share my mistakes so you don't make them. And two, I've done the homework. I'll save you those 2,000 hours of reading. So with that, let's move into today's topic. Get out of your head. Maybe I should be get out of our head because I know I'm guilty of doing this too. So bear with me. I'm really excited about this realization. So if I kind of tangent a little bit, just hang tight. We're going to get there. Okay? So tell me if this resonates. You ever have an argument or disagreement or something happens with your spouse or significant other and you're bothered? And even though you move on, you're still playing that in your head, right? You're going over it. You're giving yourself messages. You're saying, he wouldn't do that if he loved me. Or maybe it happens at work, right? Somebody cut you off while you were trying to say something in a meeting. Or they talked over you. Or they sent an email that you just thought had an obnoxious tone. There's no tone in email. Hate to tell you. And you just stew on that. You sit there and you go back to your desk and you're like, he thinks he's better than me. They don't respect me because I worked my way up. You know, I'm tired of her thinking that she's in charge. Or maybe it's even, I volunteer quite a bit in my community. And when I send an email to the group I'm working with and I don't get a response, I assume, well, they're not supporting what I'm proposing. Well, they don't want to step up and run this program, so what the hell? Or, I volunteered and they didn't take me up on it, so I guess they're afraid I'm trying to take over, like I need more stuff to do. And you sit there and that conversation and that dialogue just continues right up in here. How many times were you ever right? Yeah, I haven't been yet. No crystal ball. As a matter of fact, probably wrong. Completely off base. The best example I thought of was, almost 20 years ago. The gentleman I was living with, I don't even remember what he was doing. But he was being weird. And I'm like, well, it's right before Christmas. If he thinks I'm going to go spend Christmas with his family, which is uncomfortable as is, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I was wrong. The next morning, he told me he was moving out. So I spent all this energy worrying about Christmas, and we were breaking up. So, yeah, it doesn't always have to be a bad example. Maybe when that person bit off your head in that meeting, it had nothing to do with you. Odds are it didn't have anything to do with you. It had to do with the fact that somebody snapped at them, or that on the way to work they got cut off and spilled coffee all over themselves, or got a flat tire, or whatever. It's about what's going on with them. For the most part, we all tend to think of ourselves first. And that's what's driving. That's what's in our head. It's nothing to do with you. I had a client who was going through some emotional relationship stuff and stress. And I could feel the pain, like my heart hurt for her. And as she's telling me all these facts and timelines and what was or wasn't done or said, I'm listening. And then I hear what she's doing with these data points. She's putting them together, making assumptions. And it's straining. Not only is she spending all this mental energy not working on her business, but dealing with this, or not taking care of herself. I mean, I could see it was physically wearing. And I know I've experienced that. Oh my gosh. I would stew on stuff for days. And I thought, well, that's great. Now I didn't get anything done. Or I half-assed my work because I was distracted. Or I took it out on my team. Hello. So as I continue to listen to her, she goes, well, don't you think that's shady? I don't know. I don't know. She goes, could be anything. You have to ask him. So we continue the conversation. And then again, she goes to say, well, I don't understand why he doesn't do this. And it was something related to social media. Okay, we all have perspectives on social media. Some think it's great. Some think it's bad. Some like to share personal stuff. Some keep it only business. Whatever. I don't know why he does or doesn't do, or what his approach is. No crystal ball. I can't really go, have you asked? Well, no. Oh, how about you ask him? It may be a very sound reason. Maybe it's something work-related and he has to be extra cautious. I don't know. Could be anything. Could just be, oh, I didn't think about it. Why are you going to sit here and spin and make all these stories in your head? Doesn't serve you. That's the coaching term. Doesn't serve you. And it doesn't help. Simply put, it's a waste of time and energy. But here's the exciting part. We can stop doing this. And if you're thinking, Virginia, I've been doing this since I started dating. So since I was a teenager. I've been doing it a long time. I can't. You can. You really can. Trust me. I've done this for years. I did it at work. I did it in my relationships, right? As a matter of fact, I got nervous as this client's talking about relationships. I'm thinking, really? I shouldn't be helping anybody with relationships. Did I not tell her I was divorced? Did I not tell her I bought my house with somebody and then he moved out the week before Christmas? Who? Here's the first thing. One, you got to agree that it's a waste of time, energy. It's draining you mentally. It's not helping in any format. Okay? If we're in agreement, let's move to step 2. Stop it. Recognize you're doing it. Now, if you practice something, you may be able to that. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this. Or you might sit there and stew on it for 20, 30 minutes. Maybe the whole damn day. You may not realize it until you get in the car and you're driving home and you're still doing it. And you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta let this go. Now, if you're driving in the car, it's a little hard to get up and go do something else. Maybe put on your favorite radio station or something. But once you realize you're doing it, go do something else. I wouldn't suggest going for a walk, because if you go for a walk and you're still doing it and it's still playing up here, focus. I found a great distraction when I needed to refocus and shut off my mind, especially in this work from home environment. Go do the laundry. If you're putting up a load of laundry, you got to sort it and blah, blah, blah. If you're moving it from the washer and the dryer, you got to check which things can go in, which things can't, which do I have to hang to dry, lay flat to dry. It requires some mental energy, so you shut off this spin. You shut off the spin cycle by starting another one. But seriously, recognize this isn't helping you, that it never has, and it's not going to. Okay? And then go do something else. And if you really want to know what they meant by that, or if he's being shady, if they think they're better than you, ask. Go ask that person. Have the conversation with them, not in your own head. You're not going to get it right. You are human. You are not a crystal ball. I don't know. Maybe I have some actual fortune tellers and time travelers in my network I didn't know about, but I'm pretty sure I don't. So if you really want to know and you want to bring it to conclusion, go talk to that person. Don't text them, message them, email them. Have an actual conversation. And if you're not willing to put the effort into having the conversation because you're like, it really does, then stop spending your mental energy on it. Because it's not serving you. Reapply your energy to something that's going to energize you, make you feel better. Because I have yet to have my own experience or talk to one person who did this whole scenario stuff in their head and they felt better about it. I'd be willing to bet most of you can relate. Whether it was a friend, a family member, a coworker, we've all done this. We need to stop. Redeploy your energy in a constructive way. This isn't it. But you can do it. First step, recognize you're doing it. And then go do something else. So, I hope you found this helpful. If it didn't resonate with you now, consider sharing it. None of us knows what our friends and family are completely dealing with in their minds. No crystal ball again. Maybe they'll find it helpful. So with that, I hope you found it helpful or you pass it on to someone else who finds this helpful. If you're interested in hearing more or need help on how to start this habit or any other aspect of coaching, please reach out. Drop me a comment, message me on Facebook, LinkedIn, visit my website, virginiawalton.com. It's got my contact information. Call, text, email. We've got the technology. Let's use it. So with that, be well.